India is today the fastest growing economy in the world. We are the next big power. We are going to become the next permanent member of the Security Council. It's not if, it's when. And so that is what that's what this conference is about. We are, as a country, we are open and democratic. We want you to do business with India, but we are not out to make a fast buck. We want you to know the country with which you are going to do business with, and that's why this panel of speakers. These are all people who have helped craft the India story, and we thought that it would be a good idea to get them here to meet people like you. We hope to create in some ways to replicate the Texan spirit in India. This is as Mr. Allen said, one mistakes it sometimes to be a country, but what is unique about Texas and what I have seen over the last years is the can-do spirit. And that can-do spirit is something we would like to replicate back home. I hope you find this conference useful. If you do find it useful, I'm sure you'd like to come back next year and bring more people along next year. That is the idea. And of course, we look forward to your doing business with India. Not only are investments from the US and India rising, but investments from India in the US are rising. In fact, one of the things that I look at every day is the numbers of small Indian companies wanting to set up shop here. And it's my job to promote this two-way flow. Anything I can do at the consulate or on behalf of the government of India, thank you. And thank you to the organizers, co-organizers, Jitin, Jagdeep, Asia Society again, and to the speakers who came here, and to all of you who came here on a working day. Thank you very much.
Every 5 years, we have a new India. And many of us in this room are of Indian origin. We do not realize the changes that keep happening in India, and especially with the current government, which is very pro-business. We really have a new India.
Today, Mexico, China, Brazil, Germany are the top key trading partners of Houston. I would like to see India on the top of the list in coming years. The first ever shipment of crude oil left from Texas for India in August of 2017. It was $1 billion deal. The first ever shipment of LNG of a multi-billion-dollar deal left from Texas to India earlier this week.
70% of our revenue comes from the Arabian Gulf. So the question then becomes is, with all of that, how do we continue to attract the talent, the investment, the innovation into the industry? We're working in 3,000 meters of water. That's a lot of water to get the pressure, the materials, the software, the technology to understand how we're going to satisfy this demand for energy. Digitization is making everything more efficient. The software engineers that are working within the oil and gas industry are as good as anyone.
India is a country that prescribes one universal right for all citizens. Our society is a young society, it's an aspirational society, it's an entrepreneurial society, it's a connected society.
India continues to be arguably the strongest and the fastest growing economy and is projected to grow still at 7 to 7.5% at the GDP.
India last quarter grew by 7.2%. There has been a big growth of public investments, and this is what the government announced. They said we would do about $230 billion of private investments over the next 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the right time to invest in India. There is a tide in the affairs of men, if taken at the flood, can reach to fortune. So please take this opportunity at the flood.
There's no question that we face huge challenges in our country. But believe me, business is possible in India.
I think this is one government, whether it understands or not, it wants to listen. So you will see something happening.
India is already a center for what is called medical tourism. It is a large sector with, I would say, very significant capabilities.
The fact that you have so much foreign investment going in, private equity investment going into enterprises in India is also changing corporate governance. And so the ecosystem itself, I think, while not fully there, is beginning to transform. And the point that I make to American companies all the time is, if you're dipping your toe in the water to see if the water is warm enough, I would say jump in and the water will warm as more people jump in. If you wait too long, then the pool's going to be too crowded for you to get in.
We as a chamber are very proud that we were part of the dialogue that is going to create a great milestone, because these success stories will lead to more doors opening and more business happening.
One key point about India that seems to me to be absolutely at the center of our relationship is that we like each other and we respect each other. It is civil society and our private sectors that have led the relationship, while governments and their bilateral efforts have lagged far behind. India is in the process of becoming a major world power.
I hope that there is much less skepticism about what India can do for your businesses than there was 33, 34 years ago.
Global commerce is always going to work best when it's based upon a mutual understanding. Today is really a confluence of business and cultures.
We need to recognize that India has this wonderful offering for all of us in how to manage ourselves and our businesses for peace and productivity.
What can we do to ensure India's sustained growth? It's imperative that India's leadership first focus on the hundreds of millions of people who lack the basic infrastructure to have a chance at a healthy and productive life. In my opinion, this progress, that will come only after basic health obstacles are overcome, will be truly transformational for India's economy.
I often hear people talk about social issues in India with a sense of being overwhelmed, as though the needs are so great that they don't know what to even think about first. But I am consistently impressed by the sheer amount of innovation with projects like Zachary's that are problem solving and coming up with new ideas both inside and going into India itself.
The Indian government and the people of India are working very actively to create the working environment that you and I would always love to see.
Thank you very much for coming. I hope that you will find this profitable and of value, and that you will come next year to attend this conference.